Build your vocabulary. It's an easy thing to say, perhaps harder to do. To demonstrate why you might want to build your vocabulary, and to let you see some methods for building it, my assistants and I are going to present a show. The star of our show will be Bill here. He'll play an average sort of person, maybe like you, who doesn't give his vocabulary much thought. Tom and Jean will double up, playing the parts of many people that Bill might meet and talk to during an average day. And after a little preparation, they'll demonstrate our first important point. Why should you build your vocabulary? Look at it this way. Imagine that life is a sort of game, like a game of baseball. And a person's vocabulary is like a set of signals that helps him to play the game, to communicate to his teammates. If he gives the wrong signals, the team can't be expected to play the game right. He's failed to communicate. But if by chance or design he gives the right signals, he's understood by others, he's communicated, and the game goes smoothly on. In a way, that's what vocabulary is all about. Words are somewhat like signals that help us to communicate smoothly. Without words, we couldn't do some of the simplest things. For example, how can a fella ask a girl for a date without using any words at all? Now, how well can he do with the smallest of vocabularies? Say a vocabulary of 5 words.
Me, you, movie, Coke, fun?
No.
Now, what if we let Bill use his own normal vocabulary?
I'm too scared to say a word.
Well, that's his problem. But so far as vocabulary is concerned, it's generally true that the more words you know, the better you can express yourself. That's why you should build your vocabulary. Now, the all-important question. How can you add new words to your vocabulary? To begin, it might help to realize that a person's vocabulary is made up of 2 kinds of words. To demonstrate the first kind, we'll call on Bill and Tom.
I want a can of paint for a porch floor. I don't want the shiny kind, but I don't want the dull kind either. I want sort of an orange color, but not too orange. The kind of paint that'll stick to the floor and cover good without leaving brush marks. And I need enough for a floor, about this long and about that wide.
Those are the kind of words Bill uses in his everyday speech. They make up what we'll call his use vocabulary. What other kind of words make up a person's vocabulary?
Let's be sure I've got it straight. You want a semi-gloss porch and deck enamel in a cadmium orange, not too highly saturated. You want a paint with good adherence and good leveling qualities, and you'll need enough to cover 35 square feet, right?
Right.
Semi-gloss, saturated. Though Bill doesn't often use words like these, he understands them. They're part of his recognition vocabulary. Both use and recognition vocabularies can be built. As a matter of fact, one way for a person to improve his use vocabulary is to transfer to it some words from his recognition vocabulary. Bill, for example, hears and reads a lot of words during the day. If he were careful to notice the words he recognizes, and if he were to make an effort to use more of these words in his own conversation, he'd be using the vocabulary he already has to better advantage. Paying close attention to words can be of help in other ways as you build your vocabulary. For example, have you ever noticed, as Bill is beginning to notice, that many words have the same prefixes? The prefix ex means from or out of in Latin, and it's used in words like
Ex,
Sept,
ex,
clued,
ex,
crete,
ex,
empt,
ex,
hume,
ex,
pel,
ex,
pyre,
ex,
pound,
ex,
hail,
ex,
isle,
ex,
it,
ex,
odus,
ex,
or size,
ex,
port,
ex,
punge,
ex,
purgate,
ex.
terpate.
Many other words have the same suffixes. The suffix able has the same meaning in French that it does in English, having capacity, fitness, worthiness. It's used in words like
Achieve,
A ball,
adapt,
a ball,
excite,
a ball,
export,
a ball,
move,
a ball,
parish,
a ball,
service,
a ball,
stretch,
a ball,
traverse,
a ball.
some other prefixes and suffixes are borrowed from Greek. Photo, the Greek word for light, is used in words like
Photo,
micrograph,
photo,
montage.
Still others are from German. For example, under is a German prefix. It appears in words like
under,
Pinning,
under.
rule.
However, even without a good understanding of foreign languages, prefixes and suffixes, a person can sometimes figure out the meanings of some unknown words. Bill can demonstrate.
Dear Bill, this erubescent flower reminds me of your equally erubescent face. Jean.
Erubescent flower? Erubescent can mean red, reddish, or blushing. So, when a new word describes an object, a careful look at the object may let you know what the word means. But what if, say, you're reading a book and there's no object to refer to?
He sailed toward us in a white pinnace with red sails.
What's a pinnace? Well, it has sails. Men sail in it. It must be a kind of boat. In cases like this, surrounding words that you do know can add to your understanding of new words. The point is, don't consider words by themselves. Think of them in context, and you'll have taken an important step toward making them part of your vocabulary. It might help you to remember a few other hints for vocabulary building, things that my assistants can illustrate.
It was a great flick. What I mean is it got me right in the viscera.
Fantastic. But it wasn't just the story. There were those scenes, those costumes, those wild coiffures.
You'd probably go for that. What grabbed me was the cars. That old Phaeton.
Don't just stand there wondering what they're saying. Ask about words you don't know. There's no need to be ashamed, because people will usually be flattered that you've asked them. So, ask.
Those words you used. What do they mean?
Which words?
I forgot.
No need to forget. Carry a little notebook. Write down the words you want to remember or learn more about.
Anyone who could forget simple words like viscera, coiffures, and phaeton has the nescient mind of a moronic booby.
Nescient, moronic, booby.
Also, when you're at home or in school, use word reference books, a dictionary, and a thesaurus. Look up the words you've written in your notebook. Find definitions and synonyms that you can use.
Dear Tom, in promulgating your esoteric cogitations or articulating your superficial sentimentalities, beware of platitudinous ponderosity. And don't use so many big words.
But having a good vocabulary means more than just knowing a lot of words. It's how you use your words that counts. And that brings us to our next and final subject. How do you go about using your growing vocabulary? For most purposes, using your vocabulary well means selecting the right words for the right time, place, and people. For example, Bill, describing to Jean a pretty girl he's met, will probably use words that describe her from a girl's point of view. Describing the same girl to Tom, he'll use words that illustrate the masculine viewpoint. Using your vocabulary well is often a matter of exercising good taste, as my assistants will illustrate.
I'm writing a letter to our congressman. The river is full of filth and garbage. I don't care how well they treat it, the water still tastes like it's polluted.
Well, that's his privilege. Nothing wrong with what he said. But what if we change the circumstances?
I'm writing a letter to our congressman. The river is full of filth and garbage. I don't care how well they treat it, the water tastes like it's polluted.
The right word, on the right occasion, to the right person. That's how you go about using your growing vocabulary. Well, we've showed you the whys and hows of building your vocabulary. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I hope you've come to realize that a good vocabulary makes for effective communication. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The words people share represent interests they share, leading to a richer, better life. Thank you. Those are the results of an ever-improving, ever-growing vocabulary.